Hi everyone, welcome back to Storytime. I'm Jaidyn, and today we're still reading from my house, but in a different room because I thought, spring's coming up, we might as well have a little change of scenery. So I'm here with my friends, and they are going to not only help me read the book to you, but they're also going to listen. So I'm going to move them over a little bit so I can show you this month's book. So this month's book is called Frida Kahlo and Her Animalitos. So this book was chosen because March is Women's History Month. I'm sorry, I live by the fire department and this thing has been going on, this noise, so if you hear it, I apologize. Continuing, this month is Women's History Month. So that is the time when we learn and appreciate the accomplishments and achievements of women throughout time. So today we're going to be learning about Frida Kahlo. Okay. This is the story of a little girl named Frida who grew up to be one of the most famous painters of all time. Frida was special. This is also the story of 2 monkeys, a parrot, 3 dogs, 2 turkeys, an eagle, a black cat, and a fawn. They were Frida's pets, and they were special too. A couple things I just want to say to let you know. A fawn is a baby deer, so this is a fawn. And I don't have a picture of an eagle here, but an eagle is a type of a bird. Frida had a parrot named Bonito. Like her parrot, Frida was colorful. She liked to wear bold shades that celebrated indigenous Mexico and her own heritage. She lived in the house the color of a parrot's bright blue feather, La Casa Azul, where she grew up with her mom, dad, and sisters. Frida had a pet fawn named Granizo. Like her fawn, Frida had watchful, beautiful eyes. When Frida closed her eyes, she remembered her life as a little girl. Frida was always with her father, a photographer, who taught her to look at the world through curious eyes. Frida and her father would walk to the park to collect bugs to look at under a microscope. Frida's father also taught her how to paint finishing touches on his photographs. Frida loved the small brushes and the beautiful colors. So, they talked about how Frida's dad is a photographer. So a photographer takes pictures, if you can see his camera right there, and those pictures are called photographs. They also said that Frida and her father collected bugs to look under a microscope with. So these are the bugs they're collecting, and this is what's called a microscope. So a microscope makes small things bigger, so you could see different details or just look at the object. So they would collect the bugs and then you put them right here on the microscope and you would look in this part and you'd be able to see the object, in this case the bugs, bigger. Okay. Frida had a cat with shiny black fur, the same color as her long dark hair. Like a cat, Frida was playful. But as a child, Frida couldn't always play. When Frida was sick, she got very sick. She was in bed for a long time. But little Frida didn't get sad or bored. Instead, she used her breath to make mist on her window, and then she drew a door with her finger. Frida used her big imagination and curious eyes to walk out the door with a magic friend, a little girl who danced and played like a kitten. Frida was independent, like a cat. So independent means that you can do things on your own and you don't need others' help. Frida's sickness left one of her legs different from the other, and children made fun of her. But this didn't stop Frida from skating and riding bikes and rowing on the lakes of Chapultepec Park, so that her leg could get stronger. Frida was not afraid to do things other little girls didn't usually do. She wore overalls and boxed and wrestled. Frida had 2 spider monkeys, Fulang Chang and Caimito del Guajabal. Like her monkeys, Frida could be mischievous. even when she was a teenager. When Frida was 15, she went to a school called La Preparatoria and found a group of friends she loved. Like Frida, her friends were curious to learn all they could. Together, they read and studied and argued and sometimes got in trouble. Wearing matching caps, they rode donkeys through the hall of the Preparatoria and set off firecrackers. Frida had an eagle named Gertrudis. Like her eagle, Frida's imagination could fly high. When Frida was 18, she was in a terrible accident, and once again, she had to be in bed for many months. This time, Frida couldn't create a magic friend. She created art. Frida's mother made her a special easel and hung a mirror over her canopy bed so she could paint. Frida used her imagination and curious eyes to do just that. Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly? And if those weren't enough pets, Frida had 2 turkeys and 3 dogs, Senor Chuloto, Senorita Capulina, and Senora Costi. Frida's turkeys were intelligent and sensitive, just like herself. And like Frida, her dogs were warm and loving. When she was lonely or sad, she would wrap her arms around them and they would comfort her. Her Chulo dogs were the same breed that ran and hunted with the Aztecs thousands of years ago, and a reflection of Frida's heritage, of which she was very proud. Frida's dogs had no hair, but their bodies were warm, and Frida gave them great big hugs whenever she felt sad or lonely. Frida's Animalitos were spirited and entertaining, just like Frida. When her 2 spider monkeys were being good, Frida would hold them like babies. When they were being mischievous, they would steal socks and fruit and leap through windows so no one could catch them. Her parrot named Bonito liked to snuggle under the covers while Frida took naps and would do tricks at the dinner table for parts of butter. Frida's Animalitos played all day in the courtyard at La Casa Azul, the bright blue house on Londres Street. Her husband, Diego Rivera, even made the animals a pyramid to climb on so that her pets could roam freely. When Frida painted, her pets would keep her company, and Frida painted all the time, while the birds sang, the dogs barked, and the turkeys danced in the garden. Frida's animals were her children, her friends, and her inspiration. Frida painted when she was sick and hurting, and Frida painted when she was happy. She also painted when Diego was gone, and she was sad. But Frida was never really alone at La Casa Azul, the bright blue house on Londres Street. She had her Animalitos and herself, and she painted both. Frida painted herself with Fulang Chang playing with ribbons. She painted herself with Bonito the parrot and Senor Chuloto, the dog. She painted her black cat too, peeking over her shoulder. Frida painted herself with all the pets she loved so much, and even butterflies and caterpillars. Her paintings were magic. And today, if you visit La Casa Azul in Coyoacán, just outside of Mexico City, you might hear the sound of a bird or see a black cat jump from the pyramid that sits in the courtyard of the bright blue house on Londres Street, where Frida and her Animalitos lived so long ago. And that's it, the end. This is also a little bit of an author's note. Sometimes the author or the writer of a book will leave a little bit of a note at the end. So this just further says more information about Frida Kahlo. So if you'd like to read that, you could definitely check out this book. Once again, it's Frida Kahlo and her Animalitos. So thank you for joining me, and I hope that this book help teach you a little bit about Frida Kahlo and her accomplishments as a painter. And I hope that inspires you maybe to check out other different books about women for Women's History Month. And I hope that you have an amazing day. And thank you very much. Bye.